and it's through finding where their major win conditions lie. Is it Ryu in that top lane? Can Impaired step up and actually be a carry jungler? Or do they actually want to emphasize Frey, which has worked for them in the past?
That's exactly right. They have all these different avenues where their team can go to and approach. So it seems that, like the desk said, they're really struggling to find their focus. But tonight of all nights, let's hope that the spark is reignited and they can give us a nice competitive game from Avant, because the guys on the desk seem to think this is going to be a pretty clean 2-0.
It's a very hard thing to predict against that, to be fair, given the track record of Hellions. But we always know that they're a team with potential. Impaired's even had a couple of conversations with me and said that he's shocked they're performing as poorly as they are in the OPL and that they are still a good team, so not to completely count them out every single week.
That's exactly right. They have the potential to be one of the contenders here, but let's get into the bans straight away. We see Azir and Jax taken off the side for Hellions, and Avant answering with the Vladimir ban.
Yeah, the stock standard target bans against Avant Garde being the Azir from Triple and the Jax from Paradise. We've seen him go ridiculous on that Jax. There's moments where honestly Avant didn't look like they could win, where Paradise steps up. He has more champions than that, but get rid of the best.
That's exactly right. They don't want to deal with that and let it spiral out of control. A lot of people just can't seem to deal with Jax at the moment. He hasn't been in the meta for quite a while, so maybe still struggling a little bit here and there. But Swain and Twisted Fate will be the following two bans by their respective teams here. So just waiting on Avant to round that one out. We can get into the champion select.
Yeah, a fair chunk of mid lane focus with these bans. Twisted Fate to follow up the Azir is very much a sign that they don't want Triple being empowered. They also just don't want the strong champions on Ryu or Bomb. The Vladimir and Swain, we know Ryu actually has a tendency towards the casters if he's going to play a carry top laner.
Shen getting banned away here is the last one for Avant. Means we could potentially see an Aurelia with no real way to deal with that auto-attack heavy top laner, but Rek'Sai still available. Smart first pick for Hellions, and they lock it in.
Yeah, so locking in the Rek'Sai makes a whole lot of sense. I am surprised it wasn't Ryze, though. One of the things I was going to address is that Ryu and Bomb, they are both Ryze players, and they're one of the few teams that will always go towards that champion as one of their major choices. But of course, Rek'Sai being on the board, Impaired, very good Rek'Sai player, more so denying it from Chelby as well, to stop them from having as best a team composition as they can provide.
Sivir and Karma still available on the board here. Those two have been very hotly contested of recent, but speaking of hotly contested, Jhin getting locked in here. We saw what a good Jhin in the hands of an efficient player can do. So let's see if either Chenny Boy or, God forbid, Triple picks that one up. But of course, there is the Victor for Triple.
Yeah, God forbid. Picks up the Jhin with a Victor there, you're right, though. The two carries actually locked in here for AV. Means that there's only one carry remaining, and it looks like Paradise is going to get that last pick option for AV on their red side. Prioritizing the counter pick for their top lane does make a lot of sense, and there's no reason not to be a Victor.
Sure.
If you're Triple in that middle lane. Jhin also, we've just seen him rise to popularity, something ridiculous.
But new build really breathing new life into the Virtuoso, but a lot of mid lane bans, so Victor seems to be the smart choice here. But of course, on the side of Hellions, picking themselves up the Aurelia and the Bard here. Interesting.
Yeah, so the Bard does make sense. Big playmaking champion. It's also the direct counter to Jhin in the way that the ultimates interact.
Yep.
And is that if Jhin uses his ult, it's pretty obvious because there's a cone of radius that shows you where he's originating from.
That's it, right?
You can just pop the Tempered Fate on him and turn him into a golden champion that can't use his ult. That also means he's pretty much out of the fight, right? So 4v5s from one ultimate used. The Aurelia with it from Ryu, something that we've seen him play in the last week of OPL. He does okay. There's nothing really further that you can say about Ryu's Aurelia because every time they tried to team fight, there was just a major disconnect from the Hellions roster.
You mentioned that Avant might be saving their last pick here to counter that one. So Karma Hover at the moment, very, very strong support champion. Good against the Bard as well, that extra bit of shield. And Shelby might be looking to get himself the Spider Queen of Elise as they are both locked in for Avant.
And they lock in the Karma with that, and it has to be for Jakey given that the Victor is already there. The team composition that AV have put together is actually just extremely strong.
It's looking very good.
Plain and simple. Shelby on an aggressive jungler can keep up with a Rek'Sai in the way of ganking. Maybe not jungle clearing, but should be perfectly fine here, Shelby.
Likes to take control of the map. As we heard from Rosie earlier, very impressive jungler to play against. Just picks a lane and proceeds to destroy it. But Hellions lock in their last two champions. Looks like we will be seeing Kassadin for Bomb and Frey back on the Ezreal.
Yeah, so the Hellions have finished their entire team composition. Now, a lot of carries to be seen. And thankfully for them, Hellions have got impaired on Rex side to actually compensate for tankiness. They've got the Bard instead of a Braum, and their mid lane option is a nice half tank in Cassidy where you can get a few defensive items, but they really need Impaired to be there in fights. Now they actually need their jungler to step up and be a big front line, and then they run the 1-3-1.
With Vlad, Swain, Shen, and Jax banned here, what type of carry top laner could Paradise look to be playing here?
Honestly, I have no idea, but Paradise could default to something like an Echo. He does know, however, that he is against an Aurelia, so Trundle makes the most sense. And looking past that, Paradise has probably got a lot of champions that he can carry with. I know he's a Riven main.
Always be a little bit hyped to see that, and oh no, don't do it, he's done it! He's locked in the Riven, so Paradise going to be showing us that one. How hypey is that, Rusty?
Oh, that's great. I said that with absolutely no regard to him wanting to play it. Yeah.
No confidence that was the one that's going to be selected. But now you look like a genius, Rusty. You predicted it. How do you feel?
Great. No, he is actually a Riven main. So for reference, formerly known as RSI, he was a Riven one-trick player, competed in the OCS in the past. Is now back under a new alias. And so no surprises, can still play the Riven to a great deal of success. And he's counterpicked the Aurelia, or at least in Paradise's opinion, he has counterpicked the Aurelia.
Sure.
But every Riven matchup is a skill matchup.
Let's see if Avant have confidence in that one, because especially with Trundle still open, we've seen Trundle kind of the bread and butter of top laners at the moment. So the team must be confident in his ability to play that Riven, especially up against Aurelia, who's she's damn strong.
And I mean, we spoke towards Hellion, actually, Hellion's having a tank in that Rex side. When you look at the flip side of Avant Garde, they've got the Elise, they've got the Riven. They don't have a tank option in that team. So it does become about getting ahead early and snowballing in those solo lanes. So you'd expect Paradise to step up here.
Well, a lot of it does fall onto Karma as well to get those shields in on time, keep everyone safe. But of course, guys, remember to go onto Twitter, hashtag HLNwin for the Hellions, or hashtag AVWin to show your support for Avant. Tell us what you like about these team compositions, or maybe you're just hyped to see a Riven on his Riven main on his main champion.
It's always a scary thing, and nobody's banded away from him because Riven's not often seen competitively.
Exactly right.
But occasionally Paradise might look towards it, and he can definitely pop off on that champion. So surprising, but very nice, honestly, to see it.
Well, tonight is such a night. Let's see if we are blessed, or maybe we'll be face-palming towards the end of this game. But nevertheless, we are on Summoner's Rift with Hellions taking on Avant in game number 1 of this best of 3.
And remember, Avant Garde, they have got a consistent roster for the first time in a while. They haven't had to change people out. No more studying to be seen from Chenny. Paradise is back in the main lineup. This is a real good opportunity for them as a team of 5 to stamp their foot down in the OPL and say that our actual full 5-man roster can take it to the best, as they're pushing it now onto Luna.
Luna gets a nice double stun. Might not have to flash here, but there is the snare. Deadly Flourish coming through. Forces the flash, actually. So good little invade from Avant.
And he has to hide under his turret. They don't want to look for the kill. But Hellions already have to have a summon, a spell burnt. So well done from Avant Garde this early in the game. Luna sitting in the bush. This gets completely caught out by raw damage and the Jin W.
Going to be starting that one. Not too bad, as we have seen. Going to be a little bit difficult to get some of those last hits, considering
usually it does mean that they'll try and lane swap if you start the W, just because last hitting does suck. Like, you want to work around having a strong lane, but you've got a Riven, so lane swapping with that Riven is risky business, and perhaps they actually want to keep standard lanes, which means that we are seeing it upside down, but we're not sure who actually wanted it.
Jake does actually spot out that ward, so could have saved his life there, as both Frey and Luna were waiting at that blue buff from any Karma shenanigans. But now,
interesting.
Bit of a strange thing to happen. Looks like they will just be seeing each other. A nice Q coming out to ensure that they're not just waiting in the bush to get a chunk of damage. But like you said, we will be seeing the upside down lane.
Yeah, I think that definitely favors the Riven. Whereas the Aurelia, they both want to get items, they both want to carry. I feel like one's just slightly more capable in the lane swap environment. As an Ezreal Bard lane as a 2v2 is quite strong, but so is a Jin Karma in its own right. And everything's just going to come down once again to skill.
Let's see if the CC from Luna can land, along with some arcane shots from Frey to get the poke down. We did see that Jake started the Q, so won't be able to avoid any damage just yet. Still only level 1. Should be hitting level 2 soon, as his trip to lane got delayed by a tidbit.
Yeah, and as we walk and slow down onto Summoner's Rift, you have to actually properly look at how both of these teams are going to find victories in the game. Ryu has always been a point of power for the Hellions roster, so you would expect that they would put some focus onto him as he actually just completely ruins himself in that lane. And that's one of the problems, right? Riven, now level 3, having a great time against Ryu. Except that Impaired is here.
Does have the mobility that Riven innately has. Look at the damage coming down
He's
onto
going to
Impaired. He
Impaired.
wants to trade for this one, but might be in a little bit trouble now. Gets the stun off Ryu. One more auto attack should do it. Might have to flash you. The shield, though, from the Riven, he actually flashes as well.
Yeah, safety flash from Paradise. He did well to hold on to that flash for that long. But gets out, almost takes Impaired with him. The greedy man would have taken Impaired with him in 1-for-1. But instead, he can go back, teleport to lane. Doesn't have a lot to buy from it, but he'll be okay.
Get themselves another door and some health and raw damage stat. Remember, that does affect Riven's shield, giving her a little bit better trading potential here against Ryu. Just doing what he can to last hit against this tower. Nice stun and damage, and you can see that shield really paying dividends already.
Yeah, you know he's a capable Riven player, even from just small things like that. Shelby's already reacted to the fact that Impaired wasn't there. He's now moved to the other side of the map.
Might be in trouble here. Stun goes a little bit wide. Uses the repel to get to the crab for safety.
Takes it on his way out, as you do. A slight level edge as well for the Elise, due to that gank in the bottom lane.
Doesn't want to give up this blue buff without a fight. Luna is lingering. The stun does hit. No knock-up just yet. Cocoon come through. The damage is down. Second proc of the Karma Q going to hit Impaired.
Jin's
does have a
almost
tunnel.
in range.
Jin coming through, though. Tunnel is available for Impaired to get to safety, but forced to give up his blue buff.
Yeah, completely pushed away and having to give it up. Jakey's able to do a lot more in the team of the Hellions. Even though he's level 2, Shelby made up for that and absolutely compensated. So well done here from AV, pressuring already at 4 minutes into this game. Also by keeping tabs on Impaired. Paradise knows that it's just Ryu down there and can continue to bully him.
See Triple going back, upgrading his Hex Core as all good Victors do. Teleporting back to lane to ensure he doesn't miss too many CS, but it looks like Bomb actually had to teleport quite early without picking up any sizable items here, so this lane may already be in Triple's favor.
Yeah, it's a skill matchup in terms of how lanes go. It's very 50-50 once you hit towards the level 6 mark, though. So up until that point, Triple does well on that Victor. Ranged advantage naturally makes a lot of sense. You can start to push him out. You're just waiting for Bomb to get his items and start to ramp up in strength, and then it comes back.
Doing a good job of staying even in CS, but of course that's a big wave for Triple to take. Now he does also have his upgraded laser, so shouldn't be too much trouble for that Victor. Chenny Boy just trying to get all of that 4th shot harass that he can. Jakey giving him the shield as well, so good communication coming out of this bot lane.
Yeah, good stuff from the Karma and the Jin. Of course, getting move speed from your crit, Chenny Boy is able to run away. Not to mention that Jakey can either speed him towards the target or away. And so the one hit and quit essentially what AV can do in this 2v2 lane.
Just building up a nice little minion wave here, and we can see the combo coming down. Frey gets a little bit too greedy for a minion. Takes a bit of poke, and Luna forced to use a majority of his mana on the heals here. Remember, does have to let them charge up to be maximum efficiency. Just a waste of mana spamming them on a champion when playing Bard.
And still this 2v2 lane feels quite contentious between them. Frey not having the best time, that's about to hurt.
Oh, huge damage, getting all the bounces down.
It's the one thing you don't want to have happen against you when you're playing against the Jin.
Imagine if that deadly flourish had hit, that could have been dangerous.
Yeah, that's nasty. But everything's still quite slow, honestly, on Summoner's Rift. I feel like AV are incrementally getting themselves more and more ahead through the small details, though, in this game. Whilst it's only like 600, 700 between them, it doesn't feel like it's substantial. You can just look down the scoreboard, and it's entirely reflected in strength.
That's exactly right here. Shelby getting a little bit of a CS lead over Impaired due to that early jungle aggression, and Triple making his way down just to get a pink ward. Going to ensure that the Rek'Sai can't go for any sneaky ganks. Shelby should be donating this blue buff over, even though Triple has a full mana pool. That extra cooldown and ability to spam out the spells is always nice. So if we thought Bomb was having a difficult time, it's about to get a lot worse.
Yeah, especially because Victor hit that level 7 with the blue buff, so he can now instantly clear the back lines. And this is a good opportunity for Shelby to maybe be more aggressive, perhaps work around the red buff he's about to get, look towards ganks in certain lanes, knowing that the Kassadin can't join, because not only does he not have teleport, he's actually just stuck under his turret, because that's what a Victor does to you.
Feeling the pressure already is Bomb. So still working his way up to the Catalyst, just sitting on a Dark Steel right now. But look at how aggressively Avant have poised themselves around this blue buff, just getting in some deep wards. Jake going to be spotted out by a Pink, but now Bomb in a world of hurt. There comes a Chaos Storm, 1 proc already by the ultimate. Should be safe to get away from, as Deadly Fire was already used.
Now, I believe that Triple actually missed the initial part of his ultimate, and that could honestly be the difference between him living or dying at that point. Can't speak for the Thunderlords having gone off or not. I feel like Bomb would have been dead there. Good moves from AV. They don't get enough.
Nice double stun coming out from Luna. Shelby making his way up top. But the double stun did provide Frey and Luna enough time to back off, and Bomb trying to stay around in this lane, but Triple not letting him have any respite.
He's doing decently though, Bomb. Still keeping up as best he can in farm. Right now Impaired is looking.
Goes for the flash knock-up. Triple forced a flash after that one, getting very low as the red buff burn does tick, but a jungle flash for a mid flash.
Usually worth it.
Usually worth.
Absolutely. Of course, the Bomb had just used his, so they actually even out the summoner spells, and both junglers can now look towards that middle lane. Could almost favor, however, Chelby on the Elise because he has flash still.
That's exactly right. So Paradise just doing a good job of constantly keeping Ray under tower here, just backs in his face, showing off that Riven confidence tonight. Picking up a Phage as his first item.
Black Cleaver build, you're going to be seeing from the Riven. 20% cooldown reduction that it provides is now quite valuable for Riven.
That's huge. Stun not going to land from Luna. The hero minions get down in front, take the damage. So not too much happening in this bot lane, just trading blows when they can, but Frey done a good job of healing up all the poke. Has his tier in the cull now, so should be stacking that away.
AV, about 2 minutes in advance, had prepared themselves for this blue buff being up. You can see Chelby's movements now. He's already got the team starting to collapse for it. You can see Impaired.
Avoids the stun, but staying overtime for that Gromp is able to smite it away. Triple the first one to act. There's a Deadly Fire. She still has a tunnel from a while ago, and like we mentioned in Champions Select, Luna just instantly ults the Jhin to stop any damage incoming.
Yeah, tempering with that fate. The name of the game for Bard, but they still get the buff still. They still push Impaired off. That's exactly what AV are looking to do. It feels like still that slow bleed out game where they're suffocating Hellions. Could actually ramp up in tempo. The perfect example being that blue steal.
And it's going to be hard for Bomb now. Hasn't finished his Catalyst just yet, so might be running into mana issues soon.
And he chose that as well because he wanted the blasting one more than he did a Catalyst. I question that.
Sure.
Given that he could have maybe got a Catalyst and a Pink ward. And I'm not really seeing any vision in the river that complements Hellions at all.
They're getting spotted out of 2 wards here. Going to find the green over to the Pink now to clear that one out. Eventually. There we go. He's spotted it now.
He burrowed as he went into the bush.
Cocoon goes wide. Looks like he should just be tunneling out of this one. Air Drake does get procced by the Balmy Cinder, so Shelby taking a few shots from that one. And back up in the top lane, these guys just trading blows. Luna has been landing good stuns, so might look for that to be the kind of defining factor in these fights.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chenny Boy and Jakey have actually proved themselves with a tendency towards standing on top of each other. Bomb.
This might be a bad idea for Bomb. Gets a few charges of the ultimate proc, but Impaired is back there. The Chilling Smite knockup coming through. Does he have enough damage? Shelby just waiting off in the wings. The Cocoon does go wide once again, so Bomb and Impaired able to walk out of that one, but Triple counting his blessings right now.
Yeah, Shelby arrives right on time. The dynamic duo of Avant Garde.
That's it.
To keep each other happy. It was still good movements once again from Impaired. He's looking towards this middle lane, and it's something that you absolutely want to do when playing against Avant.
That's exactly right, but no kills coming from it just yet. Shelby looking for a tower dive here, so Ryu might be the target. We hear the teleports coming out from both of the laners. Ryu getting taken very low. There's the execute damage from Paradise, but it's not done yet. Bomb is in the fight. Impaired is in the fight. Where is the damage? The True Shot Barrage comes across, forces the flash out of Shelby. Bomb not looking too confident in following that up, but a great kill from Avant.
And you could see that AV were looking towards more. If that Ezreal ultimate did not hit Shelby, I think they might have actually gone for it. But still really well done from them once again, pulling the trigger, saying this is the time we dive. Shelby comes in with triple, and that 3-man strong unit is enough damage to take him out easy.
Going to be good in the hands of Paradise as well. Easy secure with the win/execute damage that he has. So getting a little bit of a CS lead as well, and also the kill lead going to be very good for this Riven to start. Becoming a little bit out of control. Yeah, look at that.
It's funny, it took until week 7 to see him bring this out, and he does it against the Hellions. So perhaps he's very much aware that the champion's not ideal for competitive play.
Sure.
And it could actually be a sign of disrespect towards the Hellions roster that he's gone for it. I almost call it a sign of respect instead. And bring out his best champion.
That's exactly right. No holds barred tonight. Has finished that Black Cleaver. Of course, Ryu only sitting on the Sheen and the Phage for himself, so this lane just going to get more and more difficult. But it could be worse. He has been pushed under his tower, and as Aurelia, it's not the worst thing in the world. Cocoon hits onto Bomb, but he's just going to be able to walk on out of that one.
I'm not sure if Chelby realizes that the spider has 2 forms.
He's
I've
just
only
walking around
seen him as a human.
Yeah, just chucking down the Q. The Q does more damage, the more health they have. Impaired making his way back to the mid lane. Does have flash available, but the Cocoon going to stop him in his tracks for now.
Oh, there it is. He found it. They get out safely, of course. Impaired not wanting to use his flash to engage. That would have been very committal. And Shelby hits the Cocoon to actually deter them. As this is still a big problem. Because with the Black Cleaver finished and working towards, I'd imagine, the Boots of Lucidity. I don't know for certain.
Sure. Oh, well, look at this bomb going in, but looks like the side of Avant have found him, forced to jump out of that one. One more shot should do it. Does actually dodge that one away, but Bomb now in a world of hurt. Shelby actually trying to finish that one off. The Q shield is enough. Deadly flourish from downtown, picks it up as Bomb goes down for the 2nd kill over to Avant.
Yeah, Chenny gets it. I think there might even have been a flash to secure just to get in range. And AV locked themselves a turret with it. This is one of the downsides to having a Kassadin in any team composition. Triple now miles ahead in farm. They've broken the mid lane turret, and the control on the map that the Hellions have is absolutely reflective of this mid lane choice.
Chenny Boy able to get himself back up to catch some of the minions. Frey might be in trouble now. Wait for the stun to go down. Should be an easy deadly flourish for Chenny Boy. Coming in, he's got that last shot. Chooses to go for the Q, but the burn from Deathfire's touch is enough to secure that one.
Yeah, locks him down. Of course, no flash for Chenny, so his follow-up wasn't going to be there. Just didn't get those heals off to be enough from Bard. Unfortunate for Hellions this time around. They lose themselves. That member as Paradise is about to be 1v2.
Paradise going in the fight here. Ryu trying to answer back. Not enough damage on the XQ just yet. There is a knockup from Impaired, but Paradise just going to waltz his way out of this one. Turns around though, actually flashes in and finds it. That confidence coming out of the Riven main here, but surely he's going to go down as Bomb makes his way over and picks up the 1st kill for the Hellions.
And the Riven does the combo as well as necessary and actually takes out Ryu throughout this. AV now setting up on the opposite side of the map for Frey. No. And just like a nightmare, they've found him.
Like a fly into the spider's web, he is in, and there's the stun. Shelby picks up that one. A beautifully laid trap from Avant.
Very sneaky stuff here from AV, and you have to remember, they sent 3 people bottom to kill Paradise, and he still got a 1-for-1 trade. This is what they're able to do, is respond on the opposite side of the map. Really well done again. Have to commend them for this. The boot camp for AV paying off.
That's exactly right. As we hit around 16 minutes in the game, Avant's gold lead starting to get a little bit out of control. Ray has found Shelby. Has nowhere to repel to. No flash is available, but actually jukes away, gets the Cocoon, and he's going to get out. No, there is the Tempered Fate. He's done for. Bomb just picks that one up. The stun on the invisible wall to boot. That's one of the beauties of Bard.
Yeah, I think he still would have died to the damage, as it were. So the flash from Chelby actually wasted. Hellions get themselves a pick back into their hands. And it is onto Bomb, who's now 2-1. It's a nice to have feature on this Kassadin, but because he's already about 50 CS down, that 2-1 lead that he has in kills to his lane opponent actually amounts to probably less gold than what Triple has.
Luna doesn't realize how much danger he might be in should Paradise choose this one. He sees 3 people in his sights.
He's still going forward.
He doesn't look like he wants to back down at all. Of course, his team are in pursuit now, coming from the mid lane. Karma and Victor making their way over. A lot of movement speed to be gained from Jake's Karma right now.
He's just so scary. That's 3 people strong, and yes, it's only a Rift Herald, but they do have to run away. There is just so many points of power on someone as Rift for the Avant Garde roster. Really dangerous for Hellions.
A very terrifying Riven. You can see Ryu already starting to lose out on these trades, and we've seen how this goes before. I don't think Impairs and Ryu have enough to take out Paradise. He's got the ultimate available. The teleport is coming through for triple. A very long stun, actually. Teleport coming for a bomb as well, so this will be a 3v2 triple. Just gets blown up, so it's all on Paradise. What can he do in this scenario? Gets the first kill onto Bomb. Looking for another one onto Impaired. Not going to happen. So a 2-for-1 in favor of the Hellions.
That man is a really good Riven. Triple does go down. It is a 2-for-1, but this is now an opportunity for Avant to flip side, just get stuff done.
Yep. Curtain Call comes through, gets the 70% slow. Easy for Shelby to just sink his fangs in. Chennyboy does pick that one up with the last shot. And Avant, they lose, they play both sides of the map simultaneously here.
Exactly, and they keep picking on Hellions AD carry. Frey now 0-3. He's having a rough game, and it's not even entirely his fault. He is just not, I guess he's not respecting them, but they are still picking on him intentionally. This is a consolation prize of a Cloud Drake that they get with their kill and turrets. The gold lead's starting to grow way too quickly for them though, and AV are accelerating the pace.
They're currently at 7,000 gold in the lead are Avant, but just look at the score here. 4-7, 4 towers to 0 actually. So poor Hellions haven't found themselves any opportunity in lane to take down some of these Avant structures. And now Avant, they got their sights set to this Rift Tower, but he's only got 50 seconds left on the map.
Yeah, and it's mostly, I guess, objectives that have been taken down that is separating these teams. AD carries the major point of gold. AV now looking towards this. Hellions want to fight.
Oh no, Ryu does get stunned up and completely destroyed. One more shot should do it. Picked up by Chennyboy. Look how much damage. The 4th shot onto Impaired. He's meant to be the tank here. Not doing a great job just yet. The flash in onto Frey. Is able to avoid the deadly flourish, but here comes Paradise. Wind Slash picks up the Ezreal, but it's not done yet. No, the magical journey, finding them an avenue to get 3. A good stun coming from Luna, but that may be his last as he goes down now. Bomb, the last one alive. Is there anywhere he can go getting himself out of the range? He's going for it, but he's running on the wrong side of the map, and Shelby is in hot pursuit.
Bomb's going to have a magical journey if he manages to get out of this one, but Shelby's too quick.
He's got the air Drake coming in there at the last second, giving him that movement speed he needed to catch up and take down the Kassadin. So a huge team fight win, 5-0 in favor of Avant.
Yeah, and again, we said they accelerated the pace of this game. It's now well and truly snowballing at 20 minutes into this first game. 4th place against 8th, and it feels like that on Summoner's Rift at the moment.
Paradise has picked himself up a BF sword, and I'm just going to leave that up to him. He can build whatever he wants with it.
Surely a
maybe
Bloodthirster.
Bloodthirster, maybe a Dustblade.
It could be a Dustblade.
He's in the position to do so, currently sitting on 5-2, and we've seen how he plays these against odd team fights really, really well. Just looking across at the gold there, everyone from Avant rocking about a 2K advantage over their opposition.
There's not much more you could say about this game, unfortunately, for Hellions. They lost it from laning phase, and it does come down to...
He got it.
Yeah. And it does come down to how well AV are playing this game. So.
That's exactly right. And looking at the tweets, we can see Avant looking so damn good right now. Thank you, Chopsky. Feeling good about that. And they really are. They really are.
Yeah, they're looking smashing.
The ball is well and truly in Avant's court right now. All they have to do is go for the easy shot. Everyone on Hellions just falling further and further behind.
Yeah, that's the real issue, is there's still a CS discrepancy in the middle lane. There's no way for Aurelia to 1v1 Paradise on that Riven anymore. There's no 1-3-1 for Hellions, full stop. They've been completely halted in their win condition, and now they just sit here and respond to what is being offered by AV.
But they might have gone on to Chelby. The knockup comes through. Bomb, their main source of damage right now, but he's not in the fight. Look how minuscule damage the True Shot barrage is. Here comes the teleport in the top. Chennyboy actually gets shut down. So Ryu manages to get a pick. Flashes out of that one.
Got Paradise.
Paradise actually dies too, so Avant biting off way more than that they can chew. Tempered Fate does get avoided, but causes Avant to go into full retreat.
Yeah, very greedy stuff from AV. They actually lose 2 members. That teleport should not have been finished. And Shelby starts it all off by being way too deep himself. There's no way they're looking at that, so don't be worried. He's just clearing vision. Hellions, we'll see how much they can actually get from this, because Paradise, There was nothing he could do by following that teleport. Try as he might, and again, he tried really hard to get something.
Luckily, Luna was there for the exhaust, or that Riven damage can just stack up, especially once the Black Cleaver gets into full effect here.
Yeah, definitely can. Black Cleaver Riven, a very snowbally option, but always going to be effective. 20% cooldown reduction on a champion that you could run 10% in runes and get yourself super close to that cap very quickly. And there's one thing Riven wants, is to max out that CDR.
Looks like he wants a little bit of tenacity now, so opting for those Mercury Treads rather than the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. So saw how the last fight went down when he gets stunned up and doesn't want a repeat of that one. But Avant, they still have complete control of the map. A few hiccups here and there shouldn't deter them too much from playing to the same level as aggression is impaired. Gets stunned up back to back. Luna there just to give him some backup here as once again Paradise is looking for fights as Bomb forced to retreat out of this one.
Paradise is, yeah, look, we'll just see how he goes, honestly.
He's going to try as he might, but once again, finds himself way too far up, gets taken down, but this could be the Baron, though, for Avant.
Yeah, the question is how quickly can they actually take this down, because they've got the Tempered Fate up in a couple of seconds, and it can mess with them.
Jhin is quite slow. He has a lot of damage, but can't dish it out quickly. Here comes Impaired. The Tempered Fate is down, but that's buying them more time. The Smite comes through, and Hellions steal that one away now. The fight is taking place. Where is Shelby? Looking to make his mark. He gets taken out. Chenny Boy still alive by the skin of his teeth for no much longer, but Bomb can't seem to find him. Luna picks that one up with the snare. The stun comes through. Triple goes down. Now the only one left for Jake. What is going on, Rusty?
They're absolutely throwing this game away. The Baron goes down and Hellions pick it up. The gold lead is now shrunk to 6,000. And AV looking so damn good can get thrown out the window because they get overconfident. They think the game's over and they lose a lot for it.
They're falling on their own sword right now, it seems, as every single play they've tried to make has backfired to a certain degree. So Hellions finally going to put themselves on the board in terms of towers as that mid lane outer does fall. So there is a lot of gold still to be gained on the map in terms of these structures. It's just up to Hellions to find them. And with the Baron's buff, it's never been easier.
Absolutely. Honestly, AV, I think they made the right decision to go for the Baron immediately after Riven had died.
Sure.
I don't know if there was going to be any inclusion of Riven into the fight anyway, given the teleport wasn't there. That actually sent 3 people down from Hellions also. But they got there in time because of how slow the Baron is done by a Jhin composition.
That's exactly right. And of course, got to give props to Luna buying time with the Tempered Fate. And of course, Impaired in the midst of the chaos, being able to smite that one away. So Hellions, they may have found an avenue back into this game tonight, Russell.
They've actually brought this on pretty close to even again. It was above 10,000, I believe, at one point. Now it's 4.
Spiraling out of control for the Hellions, but off a few misplays, they've got themselves a line, and they're going to take it all the way to the end. Impaired does get stunned up, a lot of damage coming through, but remember, does have that passive. Ooh.
Disaster. Now he's just standing still.
This is going from bad to worse for Avant. The game isn't over yet as Frey's still very low, but how good would a curtain call be there right now?
It'd be pretty good to have a Jhin ultimate. Yeah, I agree. It's like, all things considered, Paradise.
Oh, it looks like he doesn't need the ulti though. Just jump straight in. Impaired is the next one to fall as the Duskblade does proc off that one. So now it's Hellion's turn to stay a little bit too long.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage coming out of Chenny Boy. No armor's going to save him, and Impaired actually doesn't have any as he's gone for the Titanic Hydra. We talk about tendencies, and Impaired definitely feels like he needs to carry at this point in the game. That comes back to hurt him.
Paradise, for once, not being the one to pick the fight, actually running away from Ryu as Bomb is in full pursuit. Dragon does go down. Paradise is able to get the stun up, but Bomb, he's closing in. We see the Avant members just going to be backing off after that Dragon taken there. Paradise with no hope of escaping as Bomb just cuts him down.
Yeah, and honestly, like, every single time AV are trading, like, that's fair. They're getting nice trades, but Paradise did not need to be that deep. He could have even maybe teleported himself out to safety. He just doesn't choose to do it. I feel like the Riven is such a Riven main. There's no other way to describe his playstyle right now. Paradise is embodying mind and soul what Riven is. This is, of course, where They get kills.
Yeah, just Q for Chenny to jump in after that massive dancing grenade proc.
It keeps happening as well. Chenny playing this Jhin well. I would almost look towards it in the second game and get it off him. Feels like he's too capable.
Currently sitting at 7-2-5, has the majority of his core items complete right now. So look at the damage being dealt. Of course, that is onto minions, so they do have a lot less armor than your average champion, but still it's always impressive to see a 1,000 crit. And that wasn't even his 4th shot.
I don't know, Rek'Sai's only just got 2 cloth armors now. If we're looking at the armor. Nah, there's a fair bit of armor to be seen. Pretty much across the board, actually. I don't blame them. Into Paradise. Black Cleaver and into Chenny, but it's an armor penetration build from both of them, actually, and that's one of the dangerous things in counteracting that.
Avant, they've kind of stalled a little bit here after the last 2 team fights. Oh, of course, the last one did go in their favor, but the last few team fights going in favor of Hellions, so kind of just picking themselves up, re-establishing how they need to win this game, not going for those nonsensical pushes anymore where Paradise, he's still getting caught out, but he's not instigating the fights into a 1v3.
Yeah, at least his team's set up when he does. Like, he chooses to get caught out at good times.
Once
Paradise
again,
will fight this.
He's looking to go for the fight. Bomb just jumping around, the damage coming through. There is the Zonias. That's Q for Paradise to leave as he goes back in. The stun coming through, but Bomb just demolishes him. No chance.
He actually just ruined him. Bomb completely outplays Paradise. Gets up the 1v1 kill, and this Riven might be regretting the decision to build what he has. We said no one could split push against him. Well, that's obviously out the window. Level 16 Kassadin is ramping up.
Yeah, got himself a fully stacked Rod of Ages, Zonias, as well as the Void Staff. So with only the boots to give him any MR, he's just shredding through him right now. And this time Avant, they won't set up for anything because there's nothing to take. So Paradise, he wasn't even pushed up that far either. It's just getting more and more out of his control.
AV have definitely stopped playing to a win condition. They're just playing to kill them now. They need to slow the pace of this game down that they're trying to do. Group up and stop letting Paradise die by himself.
It was looking like a clear-cut AV when it's turned into them actually fighting here to try and find any advantage that they can take. So props to Hellions. Being able to stay in the game this long impaired. He is caught out. There's the curtain call coming down. Look at the damage. They've still got it as he gets taken down. Jake, in the midst of 2 of the highest damage to the champions, picks that one up, but Paradise, he can't seem to fight Bomb. He just needs a few more procs. The wind slash goes down, doesn't have to execute anymore. Lifesteal coming through from the Bloodthirst.
Bomb's about to die to those minions if he doesn't actually get out.
Bomb's in trouble this time. Paradise can't find the wall to hop, and this should be easy Rift Walk for Kassadin to avoid that one. Oh no! No, what is he gonna do? No! Oh, he avoids it by the skin of his teeth. Surely it would have been enough damage. On the back end of that, here is Avant. They found Luna. They found the mid tower and looking for that inhibitor to boot.
And fighting was the right idea this time from Paradise because the rest of his team had already made a pick onto Impaired. Impaired goes down, and then AV are looking to threaten that middle lane. And by keeping it a 3v5, they don't have wave clear to deal. He is very dead. Yeah,
Bomb is in trouble unless Chenny Boy actually
he's not very
doesn't find him, so he is able to get the recall.
They think he's gone all the way up here. They didn't even... Chenny Boy, that's pretty
Just
slack.
chuck a W in. Maybe an E. See? Just like that.
No, I mean, he could have even just put the flower trap thing.
Such a weird name for a trap captive audience. It doesn't even stun them.
Well,
just slows them a little bit.
Captive.
I guess that makes sense, but it doesn't capture them, it just slows them.
The one spell that makes perfect sense. It's a captive audience, you've trapped somebody.
Oh, fair enough, but the W does a better job of that. But anyway, the fight has started over this Baron Pit. It is attacking the Avant members as one more shot should do it as Impaired is able to tunnel his way out of that one. Paradise giving chase onto Frey, but he may have bit more than he can chew. Here is Impaired with a nice double stun. Now Victor is in trouble as he gets picked up by the Ezreal.
It's almost frustrating to watch Avant Garde continue to do this. 3 people now dead. Jake is dead. Make it 4. And Shelby probably not fight.
Oh,
Never
no.
mind. You know what? We'll see what Shelby does here.
He wants to fight this one. He really wants to kill onto Bomb. He gets it.
He gets one back, but the Baron now being looked at. Shelby, I don't think he can actually stop this one. If he steals this, I swear he needs a medal.
He's lurking around. Wants to try great vision control out of Hellion, so he's going to be spotted on his way in.
There is no way.
No, he's just going to concede that one over to the Hellions, who've got themselves the second Baron of the game. This time, not due to a clutch steal from Impaired, but actually a great team fight as Avant. They went all the way in, and who was there impaired to get the double knockup.
Reckless abandon is what's throwing AV's wins out the window here. Of course, we are seeing majority of this team fight. Bomb hitting that level 16 point means that he is unreasonably strong. And of course, having that Zhonya's Hourglass means that he can stay alive through all of the burst. Good target selection, honestly, from AV, disregarding Shelby, and then Bomb just decides that he likes being golden, and then he really wanted Raptors.
Second Zhonya's Hourglass there, actually, but it will be his demise as Shelby picks that one up. But now it's looking from Avant, a few missteps to, okay, they still have control of the game, to, okay, they got the inhibitor, to now they can't win a team fight, it seems.
They actually tripped down the stairs and they're still rolling.
Yeah.
The gold is, funnily enough, very much in their favor. That hasn't changed. Hellions are getting more and more control of Summoner's Rift. They're getting themselves back into this game. They don't have a mid lane inhibitor, and Riven's always going to be an issue on the side lane, so we need to note that he is still large.
Started the mid game about 5-2, but now sitting on 5-7. So that really kind of paints a picture of what has been happening to this Avant squad.
They just tarnished their game as well. They started this so far ahead. They were looking fantastic, and then I still think it's disrespect from the way that they were playing.
That's exactly right, and
I can't give another reason. So they actually just...
It was such an easy win for them. All they had to do was kind of group up, get together. They were stronger in every single regard.
But they did it. They just never did it.
Paradise kept thinking he can 1v3, doesn't solo queue, but
no.
This isn't solo queue. This is the OPL, and of course, Hellions, they are sitting on the bottom of the table, but showing us tonight why they should never be disrespected in such a way.
Well, it's funny because, like, yes, they're an 8th place team. Yes, they haven't found a single set victory, but it doesn't mean that they're that bad of a team, right? That they're going to not fight you if you're in a completely out of position fight. Hellions, they've got him paired into their jungler. He knows when he can fight. He's a great player. The Bomb's the real story of this game. 9-4 right now, and even 1v1 of the Riven.
He was had an early struggles in that mid lane, but of course that's what comes when you pick a melee matchup. But he's really found his footing in these side lanes, and now they've kind of got Paradise staying as far away from this Cassidy as possible. As I said, of course, he comes back to lane.
Also, the fact that Triple got no kills in this game, 1-3-11, where all of the money's actually on other members of the team. AV are really struggling. Cassidy can just look at Chenny the wrong way, and he falls over and dies. That's becoming a present concern.
Impaired has picked up that Randuin Zoman, so dealing with the crits coming out of Chenny Boy a little bit better, considering he is, if not the main damage source on this team right now, as everyone else really struggling to find their targets.
So Paradise can still 1v1 Ryu. That needs to be established. It's pretty much a tank build. Bard ulti.
Goes in, stops the gym.
Everything settles down. Of course, Hellions now pressuring with that Baron buff. Maybe they want to fight.
Active. Chenny Boy's got that movement speed, captive audience slowing them down. Frey sidesteps the snare.
Yeah, and that would have been a lot of damage onto them. So this is how they can continue to push back AV. If they sit as a 4-1, then they look strong in the 4. They also win the 1 when Aurelia is against Riven. Hellions' response to that should actually be to have the Cassidy in there, or have a 1-3-1 in effect instead of the 4-1. And try and play the map on AV. But their vision is only now starting to look better. Even then, it's lacking on the Hellions side.
Inhibitor has been respawned for the Hellions, so that will give them a brief respite. Of course, the Elder Dragon will be the next dragon of contention here. Baron buff has worn off as well for the Hellions. Bomb got 6 stacks on his Dark Seal. Might look to be upgrading that to a Magi's sometime in the near future. If he wants, of course.
If he wants, or he should maybe even sell it and get wards. And I feel like I say this all the time, but people are prioritizing the value of a Doran's or a base starting item too highly this late in the game. We're 36 minutes in, and Triple has a Doran's ring instead of 2 pink wards. Small things can win you this game.
Well, here are big things coming out right now. It is able to block the ultimate. He's got 3 shots off. Impaired, though, in a world of hurt, is going to get swapped back into the team. Has to flash a nice stun from Luna, but does get stunned up. They're trying. They're looking for the kill. Paradise flashes in, but it is Triple who secures it. So now Avant, they found their footing in this mid lane. Shelby looking for the kill onto Frey. There's the Q. Comes down. One more auto should do it. Paradise secures that one. They get the inhibitor. And they might be looking to end here, Russ.
Yeah, 3 members remaining from Hellions. I don't know if they can actually defend this, but Bomb's in.
Oh, he's trying his Darndus gets in, gets a kill onto Chelby. Stun comes through from Luna, looking for someone. But of course, Bomb has fallen. Ryu, the next one to go down. Now Luna, all that stands between Avant and victory. Trying to take this one. Aurelia, of course, is back due to the GA. Not going to matter as Chenny Boy looking for the attack. Keeping the minions at bay, actually, but Paradise should have no trouble tanking this one up.
Yeah, they need those minions to help kill the turret, but this should be the first game over to AV. Took them a while, but they got there in the end.
Just like that, they pull the trigger and the game is over. Avant kind of slipping a little bit there on the ice, but Hellions, they tried to go for the comeback, but got caught out. That ulti from Jin, the 70% slow enough for his team to get in there and help them win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. AV had a massive lead early. They threw it away in the middle game with some Baron steals from Impaired, and 2 Barons was still not enough to actually give Hellions the win, unfortunately, because it was already done early.
That's exactly right. A great fight from Hellions. A little bit of a slippery mid-game from Avant, but of course we will be sending it back to the analyst desk to break down game number 1.
Thanks so much, Rogi. And with that, it is going to be Avant Garde picking up the game number 1 victory. And you know, really nice early game from that team, Raz. They were able to get, I think, 11,000 gold lead by 20 minutes. That was pretty clinical.
Yeah, it was massive. And they had a snowball comp too, right? They had Riven going on. It was just like they had basically the world given to them.
Yeah, like they had everything they wanted to win that game. Like their Jin was huge. Riven was like popping off. Like Chelby like was diving bottom, which they needed to do. And then, I don't know, they just decided to throw it out the window.
Let's talk about the Riven for a little bit, though, just because exactly what you just said, you have to dive that lane. So, like, what is is that the mindset? Should Hellions be able to see that coming as soon as the Riven is locked in?
I think Hellions should be able to see it coming, but I don't know if they can do much to stop it, especially with how Ryu built. Like, he went longsword, and then on his next base, he decided to buy a Sheen. Like, he's just going to die in, like, one hit from a Riven and an Elise if anything hits. So, yeah, I think it's misbuilt.
Yeah, we saw it time and time again. They were able to grab that turret in a really cleanly executed dive. Then all of a sudden, they transfer all the power top. But as we mentioned, like, this isn't a story, like, at that stage, the game should be over. We're going to show you a replay. The game definitely isn't over. This is a Baron that Avant Garde actually start off after Paradise is being caught out. And Raz, want you to take us through this one.
Okay, so pretty much this is a really tough one. Just talking about Hellions' composition, like they can, just the Baron steal, right? So then now it's just they need to get out of there. But this is such a this is great snowball composition. Kassadin, Ezreal, they'll just run them down.
Yeah, and this is what you were saying, right? Iceborne Gauntlet, you know, the resets from the Kassadin, as soon as they both get over the wall, there's really nowhere you can even go. I mean, Karma, she's a slippery little sucker, but eventually Bomb does get her. And this is now a 10-stack Darksteel Kassadin that we're talking about that I think was 8 and 3 at one stage of the game. Bomb's absolutely massive and just creating pressure points around the map. And this really should have been a Hellions victory after that point because the snowball's gone.
Yeah, so I mean, we were talking about it before the game that like Impaired and Bomb like needed to step up, and even like Ryu. And at that point, like Bomb was huge. I mean, Impaired even got that steal, so he was doing what he needed to do apparently. And like they were all at a point where they were all strong enough that they should have won that game even after the first Baron.
Yeah.
So.
At this point, it just feels like a social experiment, right? Like, how much does it like? What does it take for Hellions to just like win a game? I mean, they have before, but like this. So 2 Barons, like, and on top of that, Riven can't split anymore. She just gets outscaled by Aurelia. She's gonna die every time.
Yeah, so like at the end of this game, like Hellions should be able to just 1-3-1, and they just win the game straight out.
And you know, that's a win condition. Let's have a look at the 1-3-1 because, you know, maybe they stayed in it for too long. We're going to bring up the last replay, and they're in 1-3-1. There's an Aurelia in the top lane, there's a 3-man unit mid, Rizzy, and there's a Kassadin in bottom lane, and they all die for some reason.
Yeah, so, I mean, they were so far up in this mid lane in their 1-3-1, and if you look where their top laner is and their bot lane, like they have no pressure in the side lanes right now. They're pretty much Avant, just like they press Jin ulti and they just run it down mid with Karma and Victor just chasing people.
And they have 2 TPs up, right? And they have a bunch of wards like right behind Avant. There's just no TP happening. What are they expecting?
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those times where, like, even if there's no TP, it's like there was a minion that, like, 4 members just ran past, like, click on the minion. And this is, like, my question about the Hellions. You know, you have the 2 Koreans in side lanes. They're the ones calling the shots. We know that already. They've been very vocal. Tay and Bomb are the 2 shot callers. If they're in the 1 positions, that is very hard for the 3 to be able to communicate to them that they need them to collapse immediately. I mean, you've been through stuff like this, Raz. That's very hard to communicate to a team on the fly like that.
Yeah, so like honestly, they just need to I don't know how else to put it. They need to literally just listen to themselves. Understand wait, how are we not even taking advantage of such a massive lead, right? What's going on in communications? Like, how are we not taking advantage of that?
Yeah, it's also on those two from saying like we have no pressure. Like you guys shouldn't be that far up mid lane, because that was really bad on like those three in the middle, that they were pushed up so far and they could just get engaged on like that.
Yeah, all right, cool. So a bizarre game kicks us off in game 2. However, guys, don't worry. We have a lot more League of Legends action coming your way. In 3.5 minutes, we're going to have game 2 between Avant Garde and Hellions.